Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing for another live Around the Ropes podcast right here on the new ATR network. Now, guys, we have a loaded show for you. We got a lot of stuff to get into. As always, I'm joined by my main man right here, Mr. Ryan Peterson.
Salam and good evening to you, worthy friends. It is once again Tuesday night on this glorious Tuesday night here in the States, especially in New York, just saying. And we are here for another rendition of the Around the Ropes podcast.
Now, we're going to get, by the way, also, folks, before I forget, if you want to find us on social media, you definitely can. Go to any of your social media platforms. Just type Around the Ropes podcast. You will find us. If you want to listen to the show live, I know we have a few episodes that are about to go up. Go to any of your podcast stores and definitely search for us. Also, if you're there, folks, I kind of learned this recently. Please leave a review.
Yes.
Give us a 5-star review. It doesn't matter. But, guys, before we get into what happened last night on Monday Night Raw, we're actually going to bring back a segment.
Pretend this entire show is taken at the Tokyo Dome. Just give us 5 stars.
Exactly. So, Dave Meltzer, if you're watching, 5 stars, please. Thank you.
No, 6 stars from him.
Yeah. But, guys, before we get into what happened in WWE, we're going to get into a little indie talk because you guys know, between myself and Ryan, we pretty much live in the indie world.
Pretty much.
And actually, we're being joined by a guest right away. So before I bring on this guest, I want to promote the show first. One of the shows happening this weekend that I will be at is happening on Saturday. It's called The Road to Immortality. Happening April 29th, which is this Saturday. Like I just said, if you want to get tickets, you can get tickets. It's at the Kennedy Arena, 500 West Embargo Street in Rome, New York. Now, if you sit there going, wait, Road to Immortality, what promotion is that? Well, folks, that's Immortal Championship Wrestling, one of our good partners. And one of the matches they're set to have, which is actually their main event, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, give or take.
Is a Royal Rumble to crown a brand new champion. Because, just a little backstory on it, at the last show, which obviously myself and him were at, that would be you, Ryan.
I know. I did more than just show up.
Yeah, you were the ring announcer. It was announced that they were doing the show, but it was announced originally that the winner was going to become the number one contender for then champion Bill Collier and his title. Obviously, I recently sat down with Mike King, and that interview will be going up probably tomorrow.
Within the next 24 hours.
Within the next 24 hours. And you'll find out exactly why Bill Collier had to relinquish the title. And it was not because of injury, folks. So it was Ryan, I'll explain to you afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it was announced that the winner of this match will become the new ICW World Heavyweight Champion. And one of the entrants into that Rumble is actually joining us right now, so I will bring him in. Ryan, as the ring announcer, would you please do the announcement?
Why, certainly. Well, this individual, I had the pleasure of finally introducing him back in February, and he is the 2022 Breakout Star of the Year for Immortal Championship Wrestling. And I'm going by the name that now I know. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us at this time is Richie the Madman. Richie, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing a lot better. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know you had some stuff happen, before we were doing this, but I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. Before we get into it, what's happening this Saturday? because I've said it for a while since it was announced. It's a very historical event. There's a lot of stakes here at this show. To explain to the people who are watching, who may not know exactly who Richie the Man is, who exactly is Richie the Man?
Richie the Madman is someone who, see, to know Richie the Madman, you'd have to know Damian Slade, you know, and obviously that's what everyone was used to, right? Damian Slade, the money-making madman, right? But what money was I making other than being ridiculed and looked down upon at some points and always feeling low because Damian Slade wasn't really me, you know? Damian Slade was this character that I created for everyone. And I just felt that no one was getting it, you know? A lot of people told me that in the beginning that they didn't get it. And maybe I started to believe them. But now that's what drove me to become Richie the Madman. Because now as myself, I feel like I could just take on anyone, no matter what size they are. You know, that's the whole point of being the madman. There's no one else crazier to do this but me.
Right.
Well, that was one of my questions, so that kind of answers that. But I want to talk a little bit more about what made you want to get into wrestling in the first place? Like, what made you want to say, "Hey, I actually want to step in between the ropes and try this out for myself"?
Oh man, all right. So, not step into the ropes, but the moment that I knew that I was in love with wrestling, I was at the Knickerbocker Arena, very young. Shawn Michaels and China and Triple H, they're all coming out. I have a great seat too. It's right where you see the Titantron when they would come back from commercial, and we're back at the Knickerbocker Arena, and you'd see the whole crowd, and then the Titantron would be right in the dead center. I had those seats. And I remember Shawn and China and DX coming out, and they're all talking. They're talking. And then the lights went out, and everyone lit up the lighters.
Oh,
and then
shit.
the dong hit, and Undertaker just appeared on the Titantron. And I looked around the whole arena, and I saw the illuminating light of the lighters, and I was just transfixed. And that was the moment I knew I love wrestling, because one day I was hoping that I could do something like that, get people that invested into me. Now, with that story being said, what made me believe that I could get in the ring was during the Attitude Era, flipping the channels. I tuned into Monday Nitro, and there Gene Okerlund was, standing there with Stevie Richards at the top of the stage. And they keep talking about this guy, Raven. And the whole time, I'm like, what about Raven? Who is this guy, Raven? And then he showed up next week, dressed like how I used to dress in the 90s, the ripped jeans, the shirt. Like, he just looked like me. To me, he looked like what I wanted to be as a wrestler. And when he jumped over that guardrail where all the fans were, and he was the only one, I always said it, that he jumped the guardrail so that I can get my foot in the door.
Wow, that's a really awesome explanation. I love it. John, you're next.
So then when you decided, okay, I want to get into this crazy world, was your whole character, was that based off of Raven, or was that your whole thing? How did that whole thing come to fruition?
Well, any Raven fan would know that Raven has had a bevy of characters. You know, he's at one point been Johnny the Body, Johnny Polo, Scotty Flamingo, Raven. You know, the Damian Slade was supposed to be a Johnny Polo character. You know, I came in wearing a suit. I was all about the money, you know, and I tried to wrestle in a suit, and it was hot every time I wrestled. I would get into the back and be like, I'm taking off a sweat coat, like, just after it's just all wet. I always had to wash it. But, and then I got out of the suit, and, you know, I got with Ataxia, which in there, I was still trying to find myself because, I went from always trying to be the madman and then the hardcore heartthrob, which was, I guess, technically my Scotty the Body. But now, I turned on Ataxia. I'm by myself now. I'm ready to take on the world, one match at a time or two, depending on who's booking me, and we can go. Quote the Richie Nevermore.
Oh, shit. Now, you mentioned that you turned on Ataxia, and I remember back in February. I don't remember the name of the show, but right at
Immortal Combat.
I'm sorry?
Immortal Combat.
Immortal Combat, thank you. I know I had something video game related, I just forgot. But right after myself and Mike King presented you with the breakout award, that's when you turned your back on Ataxia. But there was no explanation. What was the sole purpose of you turning back on, Ataxia? These band of brothers brought you in and treated you as your own. What made you want to turn on them?
Well, it's funny because I was a big proprietor in fighting for the Brotherhood. Mm-hmm. Some of the ridicule that I faced was because I put on the Ataxia vest, but that never swayed me. What swayed me was there was a time where everyone could have just been brothers. And I felt that some people might have been for themselves. And they made it clear amongst us, amongst each other as a group. And I knew something had to be done. Now, if you go back and you watch Immortal Combat, when you watch the ceremony, you see me and the other guy clink the trophies. Right. And we go to pose for the picture. But when you look, he walks right in front of me. Now, see, there's only so much that a man can take, especially when I'm getting powerbombed through the tables by Adam Stone, or if I'm diving off the top rope to sacrifice myself to take out the big monster Bobby Bates. It becomes personal. It's no longer business. It's no longer about the brothers. It's more about, they are going to protect their brand. So now I have to protect mine. So I saw the former president of Ataxia, and I gave him a nice one below the belt. I had to leave. I had to go. Besides, what would I rather have them do? Come in my match with Mike Skyros and potentially mess it up? No. I wanted a real loss. If I was going to lose to Mike Skyros, he was going to beat me clean.
Which, on the side note, I will say that was actually one of my favorite matches of that night. I'm going to be pointing straight out.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, I would agree with Ryan on that one. But since you brought that up, that kind of leads me into what's happening this Saturday. Which, again, folks, if you just joined us right now, let me just pull up the graphic quickly here. Happening this Saturday. It's called Road to Immortality, April 29th, over at the Kennedy Arena, which is 500 West Embargo Street in Rome, New York. Tickets are still available right now. Now, you're in the Rumble match to become the new ICW champion. Being that what happened at the last show, do you feel like now the guys who you turned on are going to basically be gunning for you now?
Absolutely. And I wouldn't want it any other way. For so long, I was told that, are you sure that you should be here because of my size? And if memory serves me correct, there is not a small guy in that former group, But if they want some, hopefully your number's close to mine. When that clock strikes 1, you could run down the aisle. You could meet me in the middle of the ring, and we could settle it once and for all. I welcome any challenger. I am not, like I said, I am not afraid, my brothers. Not afraid at all. I plan on walking into this Road of Immortality Rumble match, and I plan on walking out ICW World Heavyweight Champ.
Right.
Okay, so talking about the Road to Immortality Rumble. Now, when you were originally told that you were going to be involved in the Rumble, obviously we all knew it was going to be a number one contendership. However, now with this new stipulation of being, for the actual title itself, has the new prize, as they call it, has the new prize changed your game plan, changed your mindset, your routine or whatnot to probably oust yourself? Because your opponent from Immortal Kombat, Mike Skyros, I think announced that he wants to come in at number 1.
And that was confirmed, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so he's coming in at number 1. And obviously you both had a banger of a match at Immortal Kombat. Do you feel like, besides the game plan and whatnot, do you feel like possibly you may have Skyros' number after the battle you both had? I mean,
well,
we're going. This is what we do here in the Around Those podcast, dude. We go all in, all or double.
I get it. And to say that I might have Mike Skyros' number, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see Saturday. But to speak on Mike Skyros, the performer, the wrestler, and the entertainer, if you don't have your game in check, he will let you know it as soon as that bell rings. I will tell you that right now. The fact that he announced himself number 1, everyone that comes after him better be ready, because I know I've been in the ring. That one time I've been in the ring with Mike Skyros, let me know that he is prepared to face anyone out there. His conditioning is so serious, so far above anyone else that I've wrestled as of late. He's a top contender, but I'm still coming for that championship.
Now,
and I don't want to take a chop for him because that guy literally swings. Oh. I think Mike's just thinking about it. Okay, Mike, if you're watching, please don't hit me. Just take it on somebody else. Just don't hit me or John or Richie. Any one of us, don't hit us.
But Richie, obviously, we touched on, with you and Mike. Is there anybody else in this Rumble that you have your eyes set on? Obviously, it's all of them, I would figure. But is there anybody in specifically that you're looking at as saying, okay, I hope him and I cross paths, or him and her, because I know there is one female in this Rumble.
Yeah. Actually, matter of fact, Karen Bam Bam. I remember when she first came in and she was battling Kayla Sparks, and I was like, wow, she's a force to be reckoned with. And the fact that she's coming into the Rumble, she's a welcome opponent. But if Karen gets in my way, I have a super kick waiting for her. If she's gonna step into the ring with all the men, what better way to welcome her in? But again, she is a force to be reckoned with. So better. I'm gonna keep my distance. If she steps in my way, then I'll hit a super kick or try to land a clothesline. But other than that, that is a dominating woman. Who else is there? Oh, Vince Valor. Vince Valor is a true big man in his own right. I'm definitely looking at him as a potential adversary in that Rumble when I'm fighting for that championship. Jacoby Riddick, the new guy, actually just saw some of his work last weekend. He's getting ready. He's getting ready to prove why he belongs in Immortal. But there's a bevy. Oh my God, Adam Stone, Ting, Corey Jackson, Marcus Zeal, Mike Skyros, Shane Stetson. Oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on Shane Stetson. Oh, I've missed that man. He hit me so hard with that crutch back at Immortal things. I'm ready to take him out. But it's gonna be a fun weekend, fellas.
Oh, I totally agree, Ryan.
I wish I was up there for that trip, unfortunately, but I got another event that night. But there's I would say 2 certain competitors in the Rumble that I think everybody will have their eyes set for, because these 2 have been, quite frankly, making a rumbling, no pun intended, in Immortal Championship Wrestling. And John, I think you may know exactly who I'm going to refer to once I say the names.
Okay.
How about the current Immortal Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions, Blaze Haram, and I believe a former ICW champion, and Bin Hameen.
Wow. You know, I don't want to say I forgot Blaze, because I like Blaze. Blaze is a top guy too. But damn, I forgot that I'm in there with Allah's favorite, and those guys are there's a reason why they're the tag team champions, and if their numbers are close to each other, everyone in the Rumble needs to watch out, because all the tactics and the mind games that they can play within a Rumble with literally almost every entrant, and then eventually just battle it. You just blew my mind. Now I'm like, oh no, I forgot Allah's favorite. Oh no.
Well, hopefully the ring can handle the both of them, because they both weigh at a combined weight of 911 pounds.
Right. Combined weight there.
That's like maybe a quarter, maybe half of the ring itself.
But Richie, Ron, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good actually. I'm good.
Yeah, Richie, I got nothing else as well. But before I let you go, where can our listeners find you on social media?
You can find me at Facebook at Richie the Madman. You can find me at Instagram at InstaRich1412. I'm on Twitter too as Richie the Madman. And I have a Snapchat, but I don't remember that right now. And I'm pretty sure the TikTok is also InstaRich1412, or it might be Richie the Madman. I'm not sure.
Just search Richie the Madman, and you'll find him anywhere.
Right. But if any of my fans want to find me, there's only one true place you could find me. And that's Immortal Championship Wrestling. The place where everyone who has ever showcased their talents at maybe a showcase of Immortals has walked the grounds. Immortal Championship Wrestling is the premier Northeast wrestling promotion, in my opinion. And this Saturday at the Kennedy Arena, Richie the Madman will be walking in to a Road to Immortality Rumble, proving why I am truly immortal.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to the event, making the trip up there. I was just gonna say this much: it was a blast having you on. You're definitely welcome to come back anytime you want.
Thank you.
And I was gonna say this: when you win the title on Saturday, maybe we can be the first podcast to have you on as a new champion.
Oh, all right, bet I'll put it right here. If I win the belt this Saturday, I'm coming back here to let you guys know how it feels to hold that belt.
You got it, Richie. Thank you so much for hopping on. It was a blast, and I can't wait to see you Saturday, buddy.
See you there, brother.
See you soon, Rich. Guys, that was Richie the Man joining us on this live episode here on the podcast. Hold on, okay, there we go. Before we bring Kosta in, Ryan, what are your quick thoughts?
First of all, I thought he was going to go in a completely different direction at the end there, saying his true fans, because I had another theory in mind, and it wasn't Immortal Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
The way that he said it. But no, definitely amazing, to actually talk to, Richie the Man, like, who is Richie the Man, how everything transpired, and from the sounds of it, we could possibly see a top contender in winning the Road to Immortality Rumble this Saturday in Rome.
Yes, and actually, again, let's do this, because I was just trying to rack my head while the interview. Let's just go through the indie stuff now.
Yeah, why not? We're all here.
Yeah, and then
we'll bring in the Canadian. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go actually into Immortal Championship Wrestling, since we're already talking about it anyways.
Which I actually have the card right here in my hand.
Yes, can we definitely want to go over it?
From what I see, there's only 5 matches on the card.
Well, the Rumble's going to be... Well, I know, again, folks, one of the things we did have the promoter Mike King on a YouTube exclusive. That interview will be up, like I said, within the next 24 hours. So a lot more will be talked about in that episode. So you're not going to want to miss that. But I know from what I remember in that interview, I think you have 2 title matches. Technically 3 if you include the Rumble, but it's really 2.
So besides the massive 30-person Rumble, for the Immortal Championship Wrestling Women's Championship, the current champion, Kayla Sparks, defends her title against Evie De La Rosa.
Which it's funny you bring that up. I remember when I spoke to Mike about it, and I brought up that match, and I said, honestly, at this point, Kayla has held that title for over 300 days.
I mean, anything is possible.
But the problem is okay, but Ryan, let me ask you this though.
Sure.
You look at the women's division of Immortal Championship Wrestling, and you know how we always talk about the face of a division? To me, it has to be Kayla.
It is.
There's no two ways about it.
She's been dominant for the last year with the title.
And also the fact of who she's gone up against.
Oh my God!
I mean, we saw that
the last event that you and I had, Kelsey Reagan.
Yeah, Kelsey Reagan.
Great
if
match.
I remember correctly, whoever's anybody who's watching can let me know. I think she also faced Serena Deeb, if I remember correctly.
Yes, she did. I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
But no, it was. I think you look at somebody like Kayla Sparks, and I said it to Mike, and I stick to this. Kayla Sparks to me is somebody who, within the next 6 months to a year, is going to be either WWE or AEW bound. It's a matter of time.
Now, speaking of titles, sorry to jump the gun here, but we have for the Immortal Championship Wrestling Northeast Championship, the current champion Garrett Holiday will be defending his title against someone who made quite possibly a very good first impression back in Immortal Kombat as he took on Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone, and Saren Rain. What
I'm curious about this match is Garrett Holiday was supposed to be at the last show. Obviously, he had the issue backstage, and he got beaten up, and all that stuff. What's his mindset going to be walking into this match, being that they haven't really announced who beat him up in the locker room?
Not only that, is he going to be 100%?
Exactly, and then especially you also got a title match. This isn't like a regular singles match where it's like, okay, take it or leave it. No, this is a title match.
And we all know damn well there's going to be one person who's going to be watching this match very, very closely.
Yes, the natural, Nick Sullivan.
Now, also scheduled for that night, in singles action, you got Bobby Bates taking on, from Ataxia, Sergeant Fury.
Yeah, these two had a little altercation backstage at the last show.
Yep.
But I think if I remember correctly, and Ryan, you tell me if I'm wrong on this, I think they're both also pulling double duty for that show because I think they're both also in the Rumble.
Yes, both of them are in the Rumble later on that night.
So then, I know they're having a showcase match. That I do know.
Yep, it's a student showcase match featuring the talent of Upstate Wrestling Entertainment.
Which, according to Mike, they're going to start doing that at every show now.
And I like that. I like that because it's showcasing, another promotion working together. Because that's what wrestling is all about. We're all supposed to work together, not act like mortal enemies. Mortal, immortal. All right. But again, folks, you can check that out at the Kennedy Arena, which I actually announced it before, and it's a pretty good arena.
Yep. Again, folks, I'll put the poster up one more time so you guys can, in case you missed it. Happening this Saturday. I think, if I remember correctly, doors open at 6.
Yep.
Bell time is 6:45.
Yep, you are correct, sir. And that's lovely. One thing about Immortal, the show starts early, and by the time it's done, it gives you a little bit more time to get home.
Exactly. Why don't we do this? Since we talked about Immortal, I know we got 3 other shows we got to go through. let's go to the one that you're going to be ring announcing on Saturday. We'll start there.
Oh, you want to go backwards?
Well, not backwards. We're staying the same day.
Yeah, no, we're going to do Saturday. All right, fine.
Well, technically, we started with Immortal first because Richie was here.
Well, yeah, but we're going to continue a day order, like, do a Friday and then Saturday.
Okay. So then why don't we do this? We'll go with Invictus first.
No.
Okay.
Because I actually had the card for the other one already up in my hand.
Okay, fine. So, guys, happening this Friday night over in Anvil, New Jersey, ISPW presents another fantastic event. And this time, folks, they're going to run back. Literally, it feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Rick Recon and Crowbar damn near killed each other.
Yeah, something like that.
So what do they decide to do? Oh, let's just decide to up the antes a little bit here.
Sure. Why not?
And it was announced that it's going to be a steel cage TLC match.
In other words, a clusterfuck.
Or it's going to also be called Somebody's Probably Going to Die.
Yep. And actually, not to correct you, John, I apologize, but it's Avenel, New Jersey.
Avenel, sorry. Sorry to anybody who lives in Avenel. I apologize.
Trust me, it happened to me the first time, but I actually have the entire card in front of me.
Yeah, let's go through
it. Which, by the way, you can see on the lovely social media pages. It looks like an old school WrestleMania type, Yeah,
that's the one thing I like with Tommy, with what he does with all of his shows. It's not only with the match card, but also the poster itself.
Oh, yeah.
It has that old school feel to it. All right. But yeah, let's go through the card. This one, I have some thoughts on some of the matches.
All right, so obviously I am going from the way it's supposed to be, bottom to top.
Yes.
So first off, the Shining Star Ray Calitri going 1-on-1 against the Kid Vinny Pacifico.
That one's gonna be. I just want to say one thing quickly. That one's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Because Vinny is really, I think, coming into his own right now.
Finally.
And with Ray, Ray is also your current TCW lightweight champion, I think.
I thought it was middleweight.
Middleweight. Yeah, middleweight. Sorry, middleweight.
I don't think they do a lightweight.
No, they do a lightweight.
I'm sorry. You're right. There's so many fucking titles everywhere. I don't know.
Hey, that's actually the theme for our show tonight, titles.
Yeah.
But, so we got that. I think it's going to be a good match.
Next up, we have Eric Corvus taking on TJ Epics.
TJ is one of the guys who is a very underrated superstar in Corvus. Corvus is funny because I've seen him in action a couple times. And quick story, I'll say it quickly. At the last Titan show he was at, it was supposed to be him versus Smiley for the Luchador Championship, which we'll get into what happened with the Luchador Champion in a bit because, some people turned into Shrek that night. In the middle of the ring, because I forgot who he ended up facing that night. In the middle of the match, he starts singing, because he did RKO on his opponent.
He started taking voices, didn't he?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so moving on. In triple threat tag team action for the ISPW Tag Team Championships, the current champions, the Now, which I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I know it's Vic Delicious and Hale Collins, the Now, taking on the Silk City Kings, which is Bulldog Pittman and Kenny Bangle, and the new backseats of JP and Tommy the Graysons.
This one is, I've seen the Graysons in action already. I've seen Silk City Kings, especially, aren't they, if I remember correctly, aren't they still your Ace Tag Team Champions?
Ace? What's that? No, I'm just kidding. They're still Ace Tag Team Champions. And also, Silk City Kings and the new backseats have had some history over the years, so then they know each other very well. And then they've been around for a long time. Yeah,
and you had the Now, but it's funny. You had the Now, but then it'll be the future, so actually it'll be the,
Moving on now. In women's tag team action, both competitors will have a mystery partner. So first off will be Vicious Vicky and taking on the team of the ISPW Women's Champion Tina San Antonio and
I'm curious to see who they're going to bring in first.
I'm curious too for both of them, actually.
But I think the thing you got to realize with Vicky and with Tina, you talk about legend, you talk about rivalries, and you don't really see rivalries in the indies that much.
No.
But when you think of ISPW, the top two women that come to mind are Vicky and Tina.
Oh, 100%. Next up in singles action, we got Michael Mars taking on Danny Morrison.
Which I think, from what I saw on the posts from social media, it's his first in-ring action in 7 months.
Who, Danny or Michael?
Danny.
Yeah.
But again, Danny's somebody who's been in this industry for a while, and I think it's gonna be a decent match.
Oh, absolutely. In your co-main event, champion versus champion, as the ISPW Heavyweight Champion, Bull James, with basically the greatest general manager of all time, Mr. Tough Enough himself, Maven, taking on the ISPW Tri-State Champion, the Phoenix GKM.
This one, I'm going to just say right now. First of all, you got Maven and Bull James in quarter, so that gives Bull the advantage. But also, Bull has another advantage coming into this. The size. I'm not... No, Ryan, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but I thought of a comment and it's going to be like, oh, shit.
What?
Just like, in general, size doesn't matter.
But on the flip side, GKM is somebody who has speed.
And agility.
So it's going to... That, other than, the main event, that one I'm probably keeping my eye out on very much.
And GKM has been killing it on the indie scene. Whether it's with WrestlePro, Creator Pro, ISPW, you name it, he's done it. And also the main event, oh boy, aka the massive clusterfuck known as the Steel Cage TLC in the timeless one, Crowbar, taking on Rick Recon.
Yeah, this one they're going to probably kill each other.
I mean, it's a good thing that a certain somebody in that matchup is a good physical therapist. That way they can rehab themselves back to normalcy.
And here's the funny part with this show, because I will be there live for the show. This is technically my first ISPW show paying as a fan.
What?
Hold on. So what did I go for? My first ISPW show with this match? I went for front row seats.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude.
So yeah. There's probably going to be some bloodshed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing though. It'll be also nice. It'll be also interesting to see Crowbar try to dive up the top of the cage again.
Oh, more than likely he'll do it, no problem.
Oh, more than likely. But then also, folks, just to mention this one list thing with ISPW, they actually have another event coming up next week.
Yeah, I know. I think from what I saw, they have 5 events lined up in May.
They had I think a lot of them are small ones, but this is the big one.
Yeah, because it's the Wrestling 80s Con. Which the headliner for that is, I think from what I saw, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. No,
MJF.
Not me, unfortunately. So they had to go for Bret Hart. No, Bret Hart will be, I think from what I saw, he will be the headliner for that convention.
Yes.
And I think he might take part in the event, too. I think he's taking part in the event. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely going to be, that's going to be one event that's going to be a very well talked about event. And we'll talk more about that event next week.
Yep.
Because, God, I mean, folks, with what we have coming up on the Indies right now, I mean, like I said, we have literally 4 shows. We have 2 shows. We still got a preview. And we still got another show to talk about.
Yeah.
Some magical show happened.
Yeah.
But let's go now into the other show happening Friday night.
Oh, goody.
Invictus, or let me put it this way, Victory Pro Wrestling. I have to give it the proper thing here.
Invictus Pro Wrestling
Presents Invictus in Bloom. As you can see right there, there's the location, St. Helena's Catholic School, 1315 Olmsted Avenue in the Boogie Down Bronx. And they're going to have some ringing. Oh, wait, that's you.
That's me, so why don't you let me talk about the event then?
Go right ahead.
All right. So, this is In Bloom 3. 3! This is our 3rd installment, and boy, do we got tons of action in store that night. First of all, in tag team action, we have the team of Shane McCoy and Weber Hatfield, also known as the Outfielders, taking on the team of Lucas Chase and Brett Ryan Gosling, BRG, a.k.a. Victorium. Now, on top of that, if I'm going to find the rest of the card off the top of my head, yes, the newly crowned Invictus Women's Champion, La Chica Clara Carreras, is issuing an open challenge to anyone that is willing to step up to the plate and go for the title.
Brian?
What?
We got some comments.
Well, obviously.
Hold on.
What?
We got that one.
Hi, Andrew. Next. Hey, what's up, buddy? Let's see what next we have. Yes. In triple threat women's action, we have Abby Jane taking on the debuting Gabby Ortiz and the Ruthless Lala.
So basically, that's gonna be Lala's basically just gonna kill them.
Pretty much. All right. For the Invictus Tag Team Championships, the current champions, Fight or Die, which is Chris Barton and Dominic De Niro, taking on the team of the debuting, mind you, of Brute Van Slyke and Garrett Holiday, a.k.a. Hired Gun Inc., which I will gladly have a word with one of those two before next Saturday.
Hold on. Hi, Carl.
Let's see what else we have here. Also, there's a few. I'm trying to pull up the card here, folks. I apologize. And John, don't you start shit.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
All right. So we have a couple of kickoff shows starting around, I think around 7:30ish. First of all, the Greatest Showman, Jocko, taking on the one called Abs. And then the second showcase matchup is in tag team action as the team of TKO Kosenko and Ken Powers, a.k.a. the Social Influence, taking on the team of Dro Doobie, I have no idea who that is, and Jason Andrews. And yes, I had to say Andrews like Andrews. Now, there are a couple of other matches happening that night. Oh, yes! In a grudge match, the Ephemeral Queen, Edith Surreal, will be taking on the All-Father and wrestling's richest prize, Mr. Darius Carter. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that I'm missing here. Ha la 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 la. Oh yes, for the Invictus Grand Championship, the current champion, Cashflow Ken Broadway, will be taking on Nikolai White, who won the, I think it was like the Bash of the Brewery Rumble, whatever Rumble we had back in March. I don't remember the name.
Friends something.
Yeah, that thing.
Friends Fight or something.
I don't know. Friends who fight. That's it. Friends who fight Rumble. Also, there's that. And there's a couple other matches I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, yes! For the third consecutive year, it is the return of the Climb for Clout ladder match, where 7 individuals will climb the ladder to retrieve the briefcase and the ability to challenge for the social media championship at any time, at any place. And the competitors are as follows. The smooth superhero Montekia, some guy named Jay Bougie, strong spirits Gabriel Sky, one half of the most succulent team in professional wrestling, in Milk Chocolate, aka Brandon Watts, the social media champion himself, well, the self-proclaimed social media champion, Jack Tomlinson, the Bodega Boy, the closer, Jarrett Diaz, and the Shamrock Shooter, Killian McMurphy, with accompanied by Mr. PWI Top 500 Big Dust. And lastly, in the main event for the social media championship, the man who has held this briefcase for almost a year is finally cashing in his opportunity in PJ Savage, and he'll be taking on the current social media champion known as Big Trouble Ben Bishop. I need a breather after that one.
Well, then you got WrestlePro.
Wow. Way to push it off to the side there.
No, I was going to say, it's going to be a good show.
It's gonna be a solid show, and as always, they love us in the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yeah, yep, they definitely do.
But then let's go to Saturday night.
Yes. Let me pull up the graphic for that.
Hi.
This one we just leave up here. I just go like this the entire time and go.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is giving me some good shit. All right, so as you can see right here on this lovely poster to my left, it is WrestlePro Anarchy. Now, on that night, we have in no particular order, but this is what we have scheduled. We have Yusufer L taking on Colton Charles, Australia's Matt Hayter, and again, cards have to change, see what happens. Crowbar!
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because as you can see right below you.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, shit.
Surprise! I just know that too. Also in singles action, we have Justin Carino taking on Cheeseburger.
Isn't it CB now?
No, it's Cheeseburger again.
Oh, okay.
He went back to it. I asked him. In a number one contenders match, it is Dr. Bobby Wayward taking on the fan favorite CPA. In tag team action, we have the team of TJ Crawford and Love Doug, a.k.a. Shot Through the Heart, taking on The Now. Also in tag team action, we have the Ace of Space Academy, which I believe it is Max St. Giovanni and the Phoenix GKM taking on two balding, beefy bastards known as Victor Benjamin and Trax. Yeah. For the WrestlePro Tag Team Championships, again, cards subject to change, but I'm just reading them from what I see at the site. The current champions, the Iron Savages, no longer Bear, Bronson and Boulder, taking on Vlogbro University VBU, aka Jack Tomlinson and Dante Drago. For the WrestlePro Women's Championship, as you can see right there below me. Yes, folks, that is Dasha Fuentes from AEW competing in the ring, taking on the current women's champion herself. The murder of gymnastics. I something with the murder gymnastics.
Lady Frost.
Yeah, Lady Frost. Sorry, John. As the announcer, I'm promoting the fucking show. Also, on the opposite end of that, which John, if you so gladly pointed out.
Right there.
There you go. Yes, folks. That is not the Holy Ghost you see in the middle. No. That is Falaba and Dark STG for the WrestlePro Silver Championship in a first time ever matchup in a casket match. Which some people need caskets, but that's another story. And then, actually, I forgot to mention this. Just added, Zach Clayton will be taking on Pat Buck. And our main event, which, John, if you so gladly help me out pointing, that right there is the reason why it's called Anarchy. Because, folks, for the WrestlePro Gold Championship, the interim WrestlePro Gold Champion, LSG,
which he's on your side.
Other side, that's me. And the WrestlePro Gold Champion, Dion Roosevelt, which is on your side.
Right there.
We'll be putting both titles on the line in a massive unification match. And actually, let me do a little backtrack on this. Let me explain. At the last event back in March, Dion Roosevelt and LSG were finally going to coincide and unify the titles to see who is the WrestlePro Gold Champion once and for all. However, some other big, balding, beefy boy known as Danny Muff, which as you can see right in the middle of that poster, decides to come in and knock out the officials, making it a no contest. However, Dion Roosevelt, being the WrestlePro Gold Champion, decided to say, you know what, Muff? You want this? You got it. Let's make it more interesting. Myself, you, and LSG, one title, tables, ladders, and chairs.
Oh my.
Now, me personally, I have never actually announced a tables, ladders, and chairs match before.
Interesting.
So I've done a casket match, but never a TLC match.
Very interesting.
And folks, that takes place this Saturday, April 29th, at the Rahway Rec Center in Rahway, New Jersey. And as always, we will be streaming the event live on the Premier Streaming Network.
We do that. Well, I let you go, but I want to just get to one of the comments we have coming up here.
And I need oxygen.
Garland Johnson chimes in here, goes, "What's up, guys?" Garland, thank you for watching us. Appreciate you checking us out tonight.
Hey, what's up, Garland? How are you, buddy?
But let's go quickly into what happened on Saturday over at Pro Wrestling Magic as they celebrated their 8-year anniversary show.
And actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you do that because I need to take a little breather. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh God, it's me. But yeah, guys, so what ended up happening was at this show, first of all, congratulations to Steve Off and company on making it for 8 years. You guys have done a fantastic job. And again, Steve, I'm sorry I didn't bring the stump with me. I'll bring that the next show. Opening match was supposed to be Vargas versus Kerr for the Pro Wrestling Magic heavyweight title. And we basically had a hot start. They started beating the crap out of each other. About a third of the way through the match, all of a sudden you hear Espados Unidos music hop on. And that meant one thing. Steve Pena was about to cash in his key to the kingdom. And he is now your new Pro Wrestling Magic heavyweight champion. Following that, we had Steve Off and Smiley in a title for title match, which was actually an interesting match because the two of them damn near kill each other. And I don't care what anybody says between Steve Love and Smiley. I can see those guys go 100 times, and you're going to get a fantastic match. The ending was kind of weird because also in the ending, also Steve wins, and he's crowned your new Pro Wrestling Magic Dark Arts champion. And he retained that title, but then he also became the new Luchador champion from Titan. All of a sudden, Smiley's walking up the ramp, and also, again, we hear Espados Unidos' music. And it's like, okay, where are they going with this? We had a return on Saturday, the return of Donovan. And he comes in, and Smiley turns around and goes, okay, you got a title shot for the Dark Arts Championship. And again, guys, we now have a new Dark Arts champion, Donovan. So then Ruthless Lala retained her Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Champion and the Gen Pro Women's Championship as well. Those two got retained, and a hell of a match she had with Kelsey Reagan. Notorious Mimi was victorious. Then there was an interesting moment here. It was during the Travis Jacobs Magic match. And referee Nick Shin got called out to the street to get his car, because he was supposed to get his car towed or something. So they end up having in a new referee by the name of Kevin. If you go to Ridgefield Park and you go to any of the Magic shows, you know exactly who I'm talking about. So what ended up happening was the whole, I guess you could say the whole story, the whole angle, however you want to phrase it, they ended up playing it off with Travis and the ref. Well, Magic goes to pin Travis, and it's a fast pin. And it got set up now for their next show, which will happen to be May 20th, called Mambo Number 5, over at 106 Bergen Avenue, Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. We will more than likely be getting a match between Travis Jacobs and the one and only referee Kevin. So you definitely get Magic puts on fantastic shows every month. Also was announced for that show, we will have the first, I guess, leg or installment of the White Glove Invitational by ring announcer. It was actually the ring announcer Shane Fair's concept, and general manager Smiley approved of it. So we will be getting the first leg, and we'll probably have Shane coming on in the next couple of weeks to talk about that a little bit, because I think it's a very intriguing idea. Now for the tag titles. Death Row comes out. Now, if you're not familiar who Death Row is consisted of the team of Bruno El Blanco and John Tella. These guys have basically dominated the tag team scene in Pro Wrestling Magic, for a while now. When you think of the tag team division in Pro Wrestling Magic, you think of them, you think of Espados Unidos and a few others. They come out and they're cutting a promo because they're getting pissed off because management didn't give them a opponent to defend their titles on their anniversary show. So who comes out but the first time ever team of Azrael and Sebastian Cage? So lo and behold, now you have your new number one contenders with Cage and Azrael. What I think Steve is doing, and like I said, folks, we'll probably have Steve or Shane on prior to the May show. I want to ask them this. Espados Unidos, because right now, not only do you have Pena as your world heavyweight champion, you got, obviously, you still got JC Storm involved in the picture. You got Azrael and Cage are your current tag team champion, or your current number one contenders for the tag team champions. I don't want to jump the gun too quick. Then you also have Donovan, who is your Dark Arts champion. So they pretty much hold right now, with the exception of the tag belts, they pretty much hold all the gold in Pro Wrestling Magic. So I'm curious to see if this is their way to kind of rebuild Espados Unidos after what happened towards the end of last year. And again, folks, if you miss any of Pro Wrestling Magic shows because you can't get to the venue, you can definitely go to IWTV.com and you can watch any of their past episodes. And if you're a first-time user, definitely sign up with IWTV. Use code MAGIC. You'll save 10% off on your subscription. But we're just waiting for Ryan to come back before we move to. I guess Ryan is back.
I'm back, bitches.
before we bring Kosta in, by the way, folks, yeah, Kosta is here. We just have kept him in the background for a little bit to do the indie stuff.
Of course.
Are you surprised? The only thing I just want to get your take on quickly with Magic for a second. Are you
Sure.
surprised what they're doing with Espados Unidos?
Yes and no.
In what way?
Yes, because we saw a downfall with them, as you said at the end of last year. But then with, but the thing is, Espados Unidos, the people that are in that faction, they're strong. You have Azrael, you have Sebastian Cage, you have now the Dark Arts champion Donovan. You have Steve Pena, who's the world champion. It's one big. It's pretty much. I'm gonna be straightforward. I feel like this is Magic's version of Evolution.
Yeah, I can see that.
Kind of, to a point.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Because you have the veterans. I'm gonna say forward. You have the veterans in Azrael and Donovan, kind of showing the way to some of the newbies, even though they're not really new. But in their eyes, they're new, which is Pena, Cage, and I think Trey Felipe is a part of them.
Yeah.
So again, the newbies listening to the vets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely see that. And folks, like I said before, the next Pro Wrestling Magic show is scheduled to happen on May 20th at 106 Bergen Avenue, Ridgeville Park, New Jersey. You definitely get your tickets online. If you are not able to make it to the venue, definitely go to iwtv.com, and when you're there, use the code MAGIC. You'll save 10% off on your order.
So now I think it is safe to say it is time to bring in our Canadian brethren.
Yes, who is making his return, by the way. He was not here last week.
Oh, goody. Folks, please help us in welcoming our lovely Canadian brethren, Kosta P plus the other 25 letters. Kosta, how you doing, buddy?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, Kosta. Sorry, what should have been a half-hour segment turned into almost an hour.
It's all right, man. It's
No,
all right.
actually, no. It wasn't. No, because remember, the interview took a half hour.
And then we talked for about a half hour.
We talked about the shows. We were promoting. We were marketing.
That's all right. That's all right. No worries.
My God, John.
Now, speaking about promoting and marketing, let's talk about wrestling.
Sure. Let's get to it.
What the hell have we been doing for the last hour?
Mainstream wrestling. Mainstream.
Oh, okay.
So let's get now into. Hold on, I just want to do one quick thing here. Okay, boom, perfect. Okay, so folks, Monday night Raw.
Last night.
Yeah, but Ryan, you have to also remember, people may not be watching us when we're live.
Okay,
so
this past Monday night.
I've got to be properly correct here. Triple H came out and made an announcement.
Yes, sir.
That rocked the foundation.
And it actually did.
Yeah.
And I will actually, I don't know why I just went full screen there for a second. I'll actually pull the graphic up of the belt because it was actually our thumbnail for tonight.
So the way that so while he's doing that, the way that he described it, oh, look at that beauty.
I love that belt. I love that belt. To me, I love it.
I want to get into that because it was a very big topic in the wrestling world. Now, before we get into, who should win the title and whatnot, before we get into any of that, Kosta, I want to throw it to you first.
Yeah.
30,000 feet above the air. What are your thoughts on that title? Just the design. I'm talking just the design of it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I love that title. I absolutely love it, man. It looks nice to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but it looks perfect. It's nice.
Brian, what about you?
I love it because it's a completely different design. Because if you remember 7 years ago when the Universal title was announced, they were kind of teasing a new design, but trying to be the same shit, just a different color strap.
Exactly.
But now this one, I was talking with John about this earlier today, because this is what we do at the office. We talk about wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
And he brought up a good point, and I kind of can see it now. If John, if you could pull up the graphic one more time for me, please.
Yeah, sure. Hold on 1 second.
So I'm glad to take a look at it. And Kosta, I really want you to pay attention.
Yeah.
So as you can see there, just leave it on the graphic right now. Obviously, you have the WWE logo right in the middle, and on the side plates because you have to, market the brand. But the outside of it kind of reminds me of the old WCW World Heavyweight Title belt.
Yeah, Big Goldie.
Big Goldie. But you also made it a point. You can take it off. You can take all of this now. You kind of also, but John, you kind of made it a point also. And I'm looking back at it. It kind of makes sense. But with everything that's going on, that kind of looks like the layout for a UFC title.
Yeah, because think about it. Who just bought WWE?
The same company that runs UFC.
Yeah,
Exactly.
$9 billion fucking dollars later. I wish I had that money. But
Well, hold on. Well, if you want to be tactical, I'm supposed to be owed $51,000 and $9.5 million.
Oh, that's right. But you gotta give half of it to the person that's handling it.
Oh yeah.
But no, in my opinion, I love it because it's something different.
Yes, I agree with you on that. It is different. But can I tell you, first of all, I think that I love the design of it. It's kind of a a new school approach with an old school title.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I swear to God, like I could be wrong with this, but I feel like ROH had at some point kind of the same design on their belts. No, am I wrong with that?
Costa, all the big companies, I was telling this to Ryan before, if you look at any of the big companies, AEW, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan, they all have that same exact look to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all it looks the same as like not the same as previous belts, but this like every company kind of copies each design, right? Sometimes.
But no, there is one point I do want to make though, and this is going to be a little controversial with what I'm about to say.
Oh boy, here we go.
To me, it comes off like it's a consolation prize.
No. I wouldn't say that.
Why do you think that?
Because if you listen to Hunter's promo that he cut last night, Monday night, whenever you're watching this, to me it came off as, okay, well, Roman is about to hit the 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
So instead of, having him eventually drop the belt, we're just gonna create another belt. My issue is this: you have too many belts. It starts to devalue the belts after a while. Because, and Ryan, you and I, we were talking about this today at lunch. You go through what WWE has, which is, I think, in total, what I figured out, about 10 belts.
Let's go through this, not including this new title.
You got the Universal title.
The undisputed Universal Heavyweight title.
Yes.
You have the U.S. title, Intercontinental, Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, Raw and SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Women's Tag titles. I think that's it. That's 8.
Yeah, that's 8. But to me, you still have way too many.
I don't think so.
You don't need to have. Here's the thing. First of all, I think the whole brand split thing is idiotic.
I love it.
I love it. It's going back to.
I understand that, but my issue is this: I would love it if they actually stuck with it.
Well, get rid of Gomez, then we'll talk.
But because how many times have they said, "Oh, we're going to do the draft. We're going to keep these guys here. We're going to keep these guys here." And how long until we start seeing, "Oh my God, so and so who was supposed to be on this show is now on this show."
Yeah, but look who's running the show now.
Yeah, but it's Hunter now.
That's
exactly
what I'm saying. Because I was saying this to you earlier, John. I'll say this to you, Costa. I read an article, I think it was last week.
Yeah.
This whole... And people are saying, and from what I read, this article saying that Night of Champions is this draft is the beginning of the Triple H era, as they say. I know everyone said, like, oh, the Triple H, no, but no. This is the actual starting point. Because he announced this back in right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Really, the next day.
Yeah.
And obviously, out of respect, they want to finish out this story. They want to finish out the stories for the next month leading into Backlash. And also, if you really listen to Hunter's promo, it kind of took a little jab at Roman, per se.
Yeah, but I did like one part, though. He put himself over.
Oh, of course he did. But what I loved about his promo, though, was that he basically kind of quoted. I mean, if you really think about it, the booking aspect of how Roman is with him being part-time, that was all Vince. And I think the way that he was wording everything, saying, you don't need a champion that needs to be here part-time. You deserve a full champion. That kind of was a jab at Vince McMahon and his booking methods.
Now this brings up an interesting question now.
And when he pulled the tarp off and said world heavyweight I'm like, okay. I love it. Especially the fact that he flat out said that when it comes to the draft, what Roman Reigns is going to take the title with him, whichever brand he goes, and his exact words, he will stay there.
Yeah.
So we really won't know until after next Monday. We won't know which brand is going to get this new World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but here's my only thing, though, because this kind of leads into my next thing. As far as who should be, because Ryan, I think you just said it before, they're going to crown the champion at Night of Champions.
Correct.
May 27th over in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Yes. And of course they're getting it. What the fuck? It's Shane McMahon. He's coming back from injury, folks. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to tell you right now. I read something before. Supposedly they have 3 names in mind who they want to go for the title.
I have a few names in mind, and I'm gonna be a little controversial. None of them is Cody.
I totally agree. I don't think it should be Cody at all.
Nope.
Say a word.
Because to me, if Cody gets it, to me, that it feels like a consolation prize.
Because, and I agree. Because what was the point of him building up and trying to beat Roman Reigns?
Exactly.
Especially if they want to continue what happened at 39 and drag it on.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? So I think that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are going to be drafted to the same brand, of course, right? So Roman Reigns will have like the opportunity to go however many days with the titles he already has, and whoever the new champion is will obviously get the new championship. That was the point of it, right? For Roman to go as many days as he can or whatever, right? So yeah.
I'm gonna do a little fantasy booking here right now, and I'm saying this right on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
John, I was talking to you about this earlier a little bit, and I just thought of more a little while ago.
Yeah.
You don't put them on the same brand.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because there's a couple of key matchups. Because John said it best. What's the best way to end this feud? WrestleMania 40 in Philly.
Yes.
Now the way they can build it up. The Royal Rumble. Cody is one of the final few people in the Rumble. But who screws him out? Who screws him out of that title shot? I mean, out of winning the Rumble again? Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns' right-hand man. And then, and whoever wins, the Rumble is more likely going to go for the World Heavyweight Championship, which still leaves Roman Reigns unopposed at Mania in Philly. Here comes the Elimination Chamber.
Wow.
Here comes the elimination. Well, actually, no. We won't even know what title what the title of the champion will be going for until probably after Elimination Chamber. So, Cody Rhodes. I mean, there'll be an Elimination Chamber match where the winner gets a title shot at Mania, giving them the opportunity, giving them what they did back in the old days. Because if you remember when they did the Rumble and the Elimination Chamber for the number 1 contendership for Mania, it changed the whole concept of everything. Cody Rhodes wins. He gets and he comes out the next Raw and pulls the ultimate swerve and says, "I want Roman Reigns." Someone from a different brand that nobody, it would be kind of expected, but someone on Raw taking on someone from SmackDown. And when Cody finally wins, Roman Reigns will go away, and Cody Rhodes will be the new face of SmackDown.
I don't know. It's too hard. It's too early to tell. I could say.
Ryan, I told you this when we were at lunch today. I still think we're going to get Cody and Roman. I just think you're going to run into a huge issue when you get there to Philly. And the reason why I'm saying you're going to run into a tough issue is this. Philly is one of the more difficult crowds to deal with. And people think the New York crowd is tough. People think, the Boston crowd is tough. Philly makes New York crowds look like nothing. And how many times have we seen WWE events in Philly where you have a dominant heel who comes in and gets cheered big time?
Depends, because lately when WWE went through Philly, they've been booing Roman.
Yeah, but you're talking about a bigger stage.
Doesn't matter. I mean, perfect example. Look at Mania this past year. A lot more people were cheering for Cody than Roman.
Well, I think the problem is now, I think what makes it different now is you have that babyface who everybody wants to see get to the top. Where years in the past, where you would have guys who would be that a great example. Go back to when Mark Henry and John Cena had their feud when Mark was going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was amazing.
Then what happened when they got into Philly? Who got cheered?
Oh, Mark Henry, of course.
I think that's the only difference, though, is in that type of situation, Cena was getting shoved down everybody's throats, so he was getting booed no matter what. Cody, on the other hand,
that's what's happening with Roman right now.
And I think the problem is Cody is in the position right now because of everything he's been through. He's that white meat babyface right now for the company.
And people are actually liking it.
I mean, for a while, the issue was who's the bigger babyface, Cody or Sammy? And I still think it's Cody.
It's Cody. It's Cody.
I was saying for a while, I thought it was Sammy because of the fact that the build up with that. But I feel that ever since Sammy won the tag titles, I feel like they've kind of dropped the ball with him a little bit.
No, I wouldn't say drop the ball, honestly, because they've been focusing on this whole thing with continuing the Bloodline storyline after Mania.
Yeah,
which honestly should have died like the Monday after. But from a business standpoint, I hate to say it, people are not. I mean, no disrespect towards this individual, but no one's going to be rushing the gate to go see Sami Zayn.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing.
Unless you live in Canada.
That's boss. Hold on.
Unless you live in Canada.
Okay. Yeah, but Ryan, I think the thing is, it's different though. You take Sammy as a single star.
Still, it doesn't. That's still. But who's the bigger name out of the two? Cody.
Well, yeah, right now it's Cody.
No,
but I think
he was always that. He was always that for the last few years. When he came in, perfect example. When WWE announced that when they came here to Long Island, I think it was last May, they did SmackDown, and they announced that he was going to be wrestling in the dark match after the show. Sales doubled when that announcement was made. Not because it was Friday Night SmackDown, but because it was freaking Cody Rhodes. So I think with Cody Rhodes being this, big babyface, especially going to Philly where, John, as you said, it's a tough crowd. Yeah, it's a tough crowd, but with the way they're building Roman Reigns right now, they're building him as, quite honestly, a lazy champion.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
And it's making the fans start to hate Roman more and more. That way, when that big moment comes of getting the title off him, it'll be a nice sigh of relief.
But I'll tell you right now, whoever is the one to finally take the belt off of him, either it be whomever, that pop is going to be deafening.
And also, I was talking to you this earlier, John, because remember, Roman Reigns has both titles.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm calling right now, when Cody wins the Undisputed Universal, whatever the hell you want to fucking call it, in Philly, which I said earlier, the best way to end this feud once and for all, Hell in a Cell, just saying. He comes in with one belt, and it's a whole new design.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the whole 2-belt bullshit.
I think, to me, I've said this for a while. To me, if you're one of the top champions, if you are your world heavyweight champion, if you're the IC, which I want to get into the IC and the US titles in a second.
Mm-hmm.
To me, you shouldn't be relegated to just one show. To me, the way it should work out, if you want to put the ideal draft together, you have your Raw guys, you have your SmackDown guys. But the guys and gals who are at the top, who are your world heavyweight champion, your IC champion, your US champion, so on and so forth, should be going
freelance.
Should be going from. That's why my whole thing is, I think it's ridiculous that you have to have a Raw tag team belt and a SmackDown tag team belt. You have to have a Raw Women's Champion and a SmackDown Women's Champion.
Well, I mean, if you remember back in the day when SmackDown really first started, I mean, they did the same concept, both belts on it, but back then, their roster wasn't as big. But then as they progressed, they actually brought in new tag titles onto the new SmackDown in 2002, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And kept the World Tag Team titles on Raw.
Yeah, and to me, but now I want to get into this, though, okay? Mm-hmm. We've talked about the belt. We talked about with Cody. Take Cody out of the picture for a second. If Vince or Hunter comes up to you and says, Ryan, Kosta, or whoever's watching this, I want you to give me 3 names of who could win that title.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you guys put it?
Which title are you referring to? The new World Heavyweight title?
The new World Heavyweight title.
Okay, the new one. Okay.
All right. So
go first.
Okay, so my choices would be probably and I don't know what's going on with this individual just yet, but probably Rollins or Gunther right now. Rollins or Gunther, or the third one would probably be wow, I don't know. That's tough. Rollins, Gunther, or wow. I don't know.
Ryan.
Go ahead.
So obviously Rollins, so I agree with you on that one, Kosta.
Yeah.
Right now, not Gunther. Not now.
Yeah, that's what I said. Not now. Yeah.
No, that's what I was referring to. If they want to be, who would be the first champion?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in a massive wild card here.
Who?
LA Knight.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mr. LA Knight. Yeah, that would be a good choice too.
And I have one more, and
okay.
This one is gonna be a little bit of a swerve because of how it can be transpired.
Yeah.
Heel Drew McIntyre.
Oh, that's a good choice too. Yeah.
You notice how I said heel. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I have one more. I'll make it 4.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, I want to see that. Because if we all remember, Finn Balor didn't even get a fair chance at the friggin' whatever it's called now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see that for sure.
I got mine.
Want to see that. Go ahead.
Almost. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Oh, what was with that random match on that they made for Backlash? Ew.
We'll touch that in a sec.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
I think if you want to go with somebody who, because you want to, whoever you give it to, you want to give that to somebody who can give that belt credibility.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. Oh god.
I'm sorry, not Ray. Dom. Give it to Dom.
No, you know who would have been ideal for that? Because if you remember when Hunter was talking about it, and he said, "Oh, it's gonna be defended anytime, any place."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basically, to me, it comes off as it's the TV title. To me,
No.
it's
No.
like the Iron. No, it's not the TV title. It's like the Iron Man type title.
In
John,
other words, it's actually gonna be defended and not have to wait 3 months.
No, you know who would have been ideal for it? Unfortunately, he's not with the company anymore.
Who?
And I think he could have done wonders with that belt.
Who?
Well, you know him now as Claudio, but I think Cesaro would have been perfect for that belt.
Yeah.
Cesaro would have been perfect.
John, listen, I feel like, can I say something right now? So I feel like, John, you're like discrediting this belt like already, and we haven't even had a champion.
No, Costa, I'm not.
Let me, yeah, it feels like it, man. It feels like it.
Costa, I'm not discrediting it. I'm just trying to give the truth with it. I'm not discrediting it. I'll be the first one, Costa. I'll be the first one. If it ends up working out well, I'll be the first one to come on air and saying, I'll eat crow for it. I don't care.
John, you got.
You've seen the busted open again, haven't you, John?
What happened?
You've seen the busted open again, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Can I say one more thing? You gotta know who's running the show now. It's Triple H. Triple H knows exactly what's gonna happen with this belt.
Yes, Costa. Costa, I'm not disagreeing with you. To me, I agree with Rollins about Rollins winning it.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But I got another name to throw into the mix.
Okay, go ahead.
And I think this would be, because like I said, you want to give the belt credibility. You want to have that first champion be somebody who is name worthy.
Uh-huh.
How about Edge?
No.
That's my guy.
No disrespect towards Edge, but he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it, but you want to give it.
He's gonna retire in 4 months.
He's gonna retire.
Okay, you don't give him a long run with the belt.
No.
Watch what's gonna happen now. Watch.
Edge.
And if that's the case, I'll come on the air and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you were right, I was wrong."
Well, no. You won't even have to do that on air. You'll just walk by my desk the next day going.
No, I'm just gonna flip you off. But no, Edge doesn't. I'm sorry, Edge does not need the title, man.
No,
he doesn't. But I said before, okay, great example. Look at the Universal title, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
When Brock held that title and he had his first run with it, I think it was the 500+ day run with the title.
Oh God.
To me, that lost all credibility.
Oh yeah.
Because he was never on. You turn around and give Edge the belt, and then have him. Oh, wait a second. Little fantasy.
Oh God.
No, because to be fair, Edge physically can't do much as he used to.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he can't. But you get the right guy working with him, I think it can work out.
No. I'm sorry, no. No disregard, no discredit to Edge, but at the same time, no, especially with the fact that he's teasing retirement. No, I'm sorry, no.
Okay, scratch Edge off the list then. I'll still leave Crow by.
That's your opinion, John. I'm just saying mine. I'm just saying mine. That's your opinion, and I respect that, man.
Well, I have one more name to throw in there.
What do you got?
If from NXT.
Okay. Ooh, I think I have a couple in mind. I think you're going with
the one who I have is going to be a surprise.
Oh.
Breaker.
Ilya Dragunov.
Oh wow!
And I say that for one reason. You know, with him, whoever he has to go into the ring against, you know it's going to be a hard-hitting match. And hold on, right?
Oh, okay.
You know it's going to be a hard-hitting match, and you also know damn well that he's going to make that title worth something.
I don't think he's going to win it right away, because not that many people know Ilya Dragunov. However, I do have a feeling he might win one of the main titles sooner than later.
Yeah, probably the IC title.
The IC title. Yeah.
Which I just want to get into that quickly before we get into the other stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this part was talked about on Busted Open today, so that part I will admit.
Oh God. Okay.
I, for the life of me, and Ron, I said this to you when we were eating lunch today. You look at the men's division, okay? You look at the women's division. What I don't understand, and maybe it's because it's me, okay? But why is it that when you look at the women's division, you got your SmackDown Women's Champion, your Raw Women's Champion, and you got your tag team champions. Then you go to the men's side. You have three. Basically, right now you have three heavyweight titles, essentially, right now. You have your IC title and you have your US title. To me, what I don't understand is what makes one belt better than the other.
It doesn't. However, there's more men than women that work in the company.
Yeah, but do you see my point, though?
I do, but I'm saying, from a natural aspect, there are more men than women. It would be kind of redundant of having the tag titles and the world title for a shit, and have a shitload of guys just sitting there going, okay, what do we do now? Case in point, I'll set for a great example. Ace Pro Wrestling, they have the Ace Heavyweight Championship, the Ace Tag Team titles, the Fight for Flight title, and the Diamond Division title. Because they have the roster. And WWE has the roster. They have a huge roster.
Yeah, I just think the problem is, when you look at it, I still say it now. I think that the company, and I know, and yes, I know it's the roster that it's much different. But I think the one promotion, and it doesn't get a lot of credit for having the right amount of titles, is that little company being owned right now by Billy Corgan. And I've said that for a long time. Because you have, if you look at NWA, you got your World Heavyweight title, you have the US title, you have your women's title, and you have your tag title. You can't tell me another promotion that has it like that.
But again, as I said, look at the size of their roster.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Look at the size of their roster. Look at the size of WWE's roster.
But my point is, but here's my point though, okay? You look at with WWE, go back to even when all the titles we just mentioned, plus you still had the 205 title, whatever the purple one.
Cruiserweight.
The Cruiserweight title. I know I called it the 205 title.
Because it was only dependent on 205 Live.
You had the 24/7 title.
Now those two are gone.
But my thing is this: if a company has a lot of belts, it starts to devalue it almost.
No, not for their standards. Because again,
and I get that, but I want to just keep things moving here because we do got a few more things I want to get to before we wrap up. I'm trying to keep us under the 2 hour number if we can.
Just to break down, get rid of the women's tag titles. I'm being straightforward because they have been a disaster. And quite honestly, there's really no tag division in WWE anymore. So get rid of the two brand, colored belts and just do one universal one, and have it defended on both ends. That's it.
Ryan, how many times have I told you to get rid of the women's tag belts?
Oh, you've been saying that for years, and so have I.
I've been saying, because to me, what pisses, and I'm somebody who's a huge fan of tag team wrestling. I think tag team wrestling is far superior. Because how many times have you seen tag team wrestling when it's some of the best stories out there.
Amazing.
You look at the women's, okay? With the exception of the Iconics and the exception of Sasha and Bailey, when they had it for the initial run. Can either of you guys or anybody who's watching name me a tag team that actually held that title?
No.
That actually had a run with the title. Let me put it that way.
No.
Because the problem is, when it comes to that, I feel like Vince McMahon and whoever's running creative will turn around, have literally a bowl in their hands of all the women's names, and will turn around and go, okay, let's pull this out. Okay, ooh, person A, put them right there. Person B, right there. There's your tag team. They win the titles. A week later, person A turns on person B. Now it's like the old rinse and repeat crap. To me, those titles become a joke after a while. And to me, they are pointless. And believe me, I don't want this to come off as me trashing, women's wrestling. I'm not trashing women's wrestling. I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the tag team, when this, the women's tag team thing,
yeah,
no, there's no point to have it. Because all it just does is becomes hot potato, and it becomes a thing of, ooh, I don't like you because I was told to turn on you. Am I wrong here?
No, you're right. You're right.
Right.
And the same kind of thing was happening with the World Championship, like the old one, the Universal, whatever it is, right? So the Universal. The same thing was kind of happening with that one, right? It's like either a part timer would get it, or like they would take it off a person like right away, right? And that's another reason for Roman Reigns' huge run, is to add validity to the title, which Roman Reigns is doing a good job as the champion, obviously, but it hasn't changed people's perspective on it still, right?
Here's my thing. When you look at Roman's run, I think Roman right now, and I agree with you, I think Roman right now is having a defining run. Let me put it that way. Yeah. I think the run he's having right now is the run we're never going to see again. I don't care who you're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm just curious to see when do you finally pull the trigger? I think eventually, I think they're trying to build it up so they can get a bigger moment. Because I remember we talked about this coming out of Mania, and everybody was like, "Oh, why did they put the title on Cody?" You would not have gotten the bigger moment. I think they're going to wait for a bigger moment, and I think we're either going to get it. I think realistically, you're not going to get it in Saudi. I can almost guarantee that.
No, of course not. No.
Realistically, I'm saying either SummerSlam or a Mania next year is when they're going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, but by that time, people are going to let's say it goes to next year, right? Next WrestleMania, right? People are going to want a new person. Everybody's going to be off the Cody train. Like I already want, for example, Gunther to be the champion already.
Of course.
For me.
Kosta, I'm a strong believer that once Gunther is done with this run with the IC belt, I think the way I think they're doing it with him, and I was telling this to Ryan earlier, is he's handling that IC title the way it's supposed to be handled.
Yeah, exactly.
If you remember when the IC title first started, when Pat Patterson first introduced that belt in 79, I think it was. 78, 79, in that area. The whole point of that belt was supposed to be you take it, and it's what elevates you to the next level.
Yes.
The last time we saw somebody, not to the length that Gunther's holding that title, but the only other person I can remember in recent time that made that belt relevant, there's one person who made that IC title relevant.
Or two people, but go ahead, yeah.
Two people, sorry. And they both feuded over that belt.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, I think.
To me, it's Dolph Ziggler and The Miz.
Exactly.
To me, go back to the feud they had. I think that was in 2016.
That was the best, yo. That was the best.
That was
Yeah.
great.
But that's what the IC title is supposed to bring. What Gunther's doing right now is what that title's supposed to bring. Gunther, I love what they're doing with him.
Yeah.
On
I
the
love
flip
it.
side, with A Town, B Town, C Town, D Town, whatever the fuck his thing is.
Oh,
A-Town down.
Yeah, A Town
Theory?
down.
Theory.
Austin Theory to me, I put it this way. He's a good wrestler, okay? I'm not saying he isn't. But when he came up to the Bronx, and I understand, he had that change after Hunter took over creative.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about him that doesn't sit with me. And the fact that he has a match at Backlash against Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley.
They're doing a triple. I missed a couple of the episodes. They're doing a triple.
Yeah, they just randomly thrown together. It's a triple threat match.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I remember when they announced it, and I looked at my dad, and I'm like, when did they start just announcing these matches? When did the day happen where you actually had to earn the title match?
Oh, that's the thing I wanted to bring up. That almost shit is all random against Seth Rollins.
Oh,
That's
basically, you know what that
It's a glorified house show.
No, you know what that Backlash show reminds me? Here's the best way I can describe it. If you
What?
take out the 6-man tag match, you take out Brock and Cody,
yeah.
all the other matches, and if you're a gamer, you're gonna get where I'm going with this in a second. It was like Vince McMahon went to his $10 million estate up in Greenwich, Connecticut, turned on WWE 2K23, tried to put a card together, and just hit randomize.
Yeah.
Because why? And again, she's a talented lady. I'm not taking that away from her. But why all of a sudden are we giving Zelina Vega a title shot?
No. That's actually, no. I actually like that.
Oh, I like it. Don't get me wrong, but
No. It makes sense.
yeah. But Costa, you just have to realize something. They're also giving it to her because of where they are. Think about it.
Yeah, Puerto Rico. I know.
If Backlash was in the middle of Kansas over there, I don't think Zelina Vega would be getting a title shot right now.
But also, why in the blue hell are we getting Seth Rollins and Omos?
I can answer.
That's my.
Like, that threw me off guard. I'm like, wait, huh?
Right. I can answer.
Yes.
Because.
Good answer.
And this is where people like debate whether actually Triple H is actually in charge.
Not for Backlash.
No, because that's a match. That's a match that Vince McMahon would put together. That Omos versus Rollins. That's a match. That's a random match that Vince McMahon would put together for sure.
And I think that's his final event too. But one matchup that was just announced last night that I'm kind of interested in, and I'm very actually intrigued. Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny in a street fight.
That's gonna be a good match.
I'm actually interested in that one.
Yeah. Because Bad Bunny knows.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's good. It's gonna be very good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Backlash. Backlash happens actually next Saturday.
Yeah, the 6th.
Yeah, next Saturday. Yeah.
And I think it's the first time that they've done a pay-per-view in Puerto Rico since almost 20 years.
So 05, I think, right? Or something
Yeah,
like
almost
that.
20 years ago.
And okay, let me ask you guys this before we go into the AEW stuff quickly before we wrap up the show for tonight. And actually, there was one more indie thing I wanted to get to. Just dawned on me, so we'll get to that towards the end. You're booking, and Ryan, I know you're very good at this. You're booking that show, the Backlash show.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have close up the show?
Honestly, because of where they are, Bad Bunny and Priest.
Yeah.
Costa, what about you?
I gotta go I gotta go with Brock and Cody.
I gotta agree with Ryan on that one. I think and it's not because and I don't get me wrong, I think Brock and Cody could have a great match.
Yeah.
But your first show in Puerto Rico,
It's gotta be.
you don't think the pop you're gonna get with Priest and freaking Bad Bunny? I don't know if they have a roof in that building. I don't think they have a roof on that building.
They do.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. WWE's gonna have to pay for a new one because that roof's gonna be gone.
But they kick off with Brock and Cody.
Yeah, I think they kick off with Brock.
Oh yeah, kick off. Yeah.
I want to get to one more thing before we get back to the indie thing quickly, and then we'll wrap up the show. The quick thing I want to get to with AEW is we're on the road to Double or Nothing.
Doesn't feel like it though.
It doesn't feel like it.
You wouldn't even know that. Yeah, you're right.
But what I'm curious to see, because I think starting this week, I think you're going to start seeing seeds planted.
Yeah.
For Double or Nothing matches.
Yeah.
I think few of the matches I think we're going to see. Obviously, Ryan, you and I were talking about this, but I thought about some of them on the way home today. I think you're getting a fatal four-way for the Triple B.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're getting Cole versus Jericho.
Yep.
Final deletion.
You have the final deletion match, yes.
It's going to be a Double or Nothing. I'm calling it right now.
Yep.
I think you're also going to finally get something between Keith Lee and Swerve.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because what happened was, you got to remember, Swerve turned on Keith, and they never followed through with it.
Nope.
This is your opportunity.
Yeah.
I think as far as the blood and guts match that I've been saying for the longest time now,
That's going to be pushed back further.
yeah, I think you're going to see that in All In.
I said that.
I've been saying the women's match. I agree with you about the fact that it's going to be an All In.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the women's one at All In.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no.
What?
What's the big story that's been brawling as of late?
Which, that's what I was about to get to.
Oh, excuse me.
My ass is killing me.
Go ahead.
I don't think you're gonna get. I know what you're talking about. The Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think you're getting it. I don't think you're getting that as blood and guts.
Really?
I think you're gonna get that as the Anarchy in the arena match.
No. I'm saying that's going to be the one that's going to be happening at All In.
You would think? No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Flip flop it.
Flip flop it.
What?
Have the men Anarchy match at Double or Nothing.
No. What I'm saying is, you have them start off at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Then you have another match in end of June, early July. Do a massive like Texas Tornado 8-man clusterfuck.
Okay, but I think you're going to
ends in a no contest.
I think you go a step further though. Intergender.
No.
Not intergender. That's not what I no. Mixed tag team
Mixed tag.
for the women's.
No.
You don't think? Because especially now they've been pushing with Britt and Adam.
But you and
I
was telling you this earlier. What's the one pay-per-view that's happening in June?
Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door 2. Yeah.
Now hear me out, because I think about this. If they want to build up this huge thing with the Outcast and the AEW originals.
Yep.
You have Saraya taking on Jamie Hayter for the title. Jamie Hayter wins. But all of a sudden you see someone with a hoodie come out and beat the ever-living shit out of Jamie Hayter. Takes off the hoodie. Who is it? Mercedes Moné.
Oh, hell yeah. That'll be fun.
At Forbidden Door, you can do that dream tag match that was originally rumored for January earlier this year of Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter taking on Saraya and Mercedes Moné. And John, you said it earlier too, have Mercedes Moné be the final person for the Team Outcast for the women's Blood and Guts match.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That
would be fucking amazing.
And also, by the way, I'm just gonna say this one last thing in regards to AEW.
I'm good. I got something.
Okay. The ending segment they did, which first of all, by the way, Cole wasn't that was a bad botch. That was a really bad botch.
Well, anyway.
When he was handcuffed.
Oh yeah. I can tell. Yeah.
I'm handcuffed.
Well,
I'm handcuffed. Oh, damn it, it's loose. Hold the rope. I'm handcuffed.
but I'll tell you right now, that segment right there got me 100% invested for one reason. What Britt called Adam.
What? I didn't hear. I don't remember what happened. Like
She
I
called
don't
him by
remember.
his real name.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She called him by his real name, and that right there goes under the whole tutelage of being related. It's 100% relatable.
Yeah.
But also the fact that they have AEW All Access and hello, his name is actually on there.
But what I'm just saying is it's relatable though. Not yes and no, because most of the time if you're in a relationship, you're not getting handcuffed to a rope and having your girlfriend getting hit in the back with a kendo stick.
That's true.
Moving on. One last thing I want to get to with the Indies before we wrap up tonight is I was introduced to a new company. I know they're not a new company, but it was the first time I got to see them in action. And that's called The Sanctuary. Based in Hazelton, PA.
Yeah.
They had their season 13 premiere this past Sunday. Apparently do one show a month in this church setup. I'll tell you right now, I was impressed. Not so much for, obviously they had the whole premise of it was the winner became the new Sanctuary World Heavyweight Champion, which I think was Prince, what was his face?
Prince Ahmed.
Prince Ahmed, yes.
Yep.
But I was watching, I'm like, and they're doing like this whole Rumble thing. I'm like, wait, I know who that guy is. I've seen that guy before. I know who that guy is. But that's one show that if I can potentially make it down for, I would make the car ride down for that show.
Yeah.
Because again, folks, if you haven't had a chance to, I would definitely recommend going to see it. If you are not in the Hazelton. Okay. If you can't make it to Hazelton, PA, definitely go catch them on their YouTube channel. We'll promote it. We'll promote it on us as well. But yeah, definitely guys go check it out. It's fantastic stuff. Before we wrap up again, I just want to run through the stuff they have. The independent shows that we got between myself and Ryan coming up this week. On Friday night, you can catch Ryan ring announcing for Invictus as they present In Bloom 3, happening at the St. Helena's Catholic School in the Boogie Down Bronx. Ryan, are tickets still available?
Yes.
Okay. Now, obviously, I won't be ringing announcing this show, but if you want to come say hi to me, I'm not going to say no. ISPW presents their next show happening this Friday night. Information's right there. The main event is right there as Crowbar takes on Rick Recon in a steel cage TLC match. Then comes Saturday. Ryan will be on duty ring announcing for WrestlePro as they present Anarchy in a hell of a main event featuring LSG, Danny Moth, and I forgot who the last guy was.
Dan
Rusman. And then I will be making the trip up to Rome, New York for Immortal Championship Wrestling. Again, I also want to thank Richie the Madman for hopping on early in the show. Again, folks, if you missed any of tonight's show, definitely go back on our YouTube page. And if you're there, folks, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. We have a lot of fantastic interviews coming up, including one that I did with the absolute Chris Cage, which, folks, if you've ever seen him in action, you'll actually find out the story of his sunglasses. And it was a very touching story. I don't think Ryan even knows the story behind it.
No.
So, folks, you're not going to want to miss that. Also, another interview we have coming out in the next couple of days is with Immortal Championship Wrestling's promoter and owner himself, Mike King, to talk in depth about the road to immortality, which we'll definitely be talking about a lot. Before we go, guys, Costa, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, mainly you can find me on Twitter at roadtoriches.ca. That's ROAD, the number 2 and riches.ca. Just type that in and you should be able to find me on Twitter there. Yeah.
And Ryan, what about you?
So you can find me at Instagram at WrestlingMC. You can follow me on Facebook at Ryan Peterson, obviously. Again, you can see me at Invictus on Friday. It's St. Helena's, because actually it's St. Helena's, because I actually called it the wrong place. Then WrestlePro next night. Then Reality Fighting MMA next Saturday the 6th in Connecticut. And then if you haven't gotten tickets yet for this next one, I am so sorry, but that's on you guys. Creator Pro Wrestling presents Homecoming, featuring Creator Pro alum MJF, which means I'm going to get roasted because of my fucking suit. And, yeah.
And like I said, guys, we have a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. A lot more interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. Because we're actually forgetting a show. And I can't believe I totally forgot about the show. Happening on May 18th over in Patchogue, Long Island at Stereo Garden is Outlaw Wrestling in conjunction with Win.
Oh, yes.
As the main event is going to be a 10-man elimination match to crown the inaugural Win World Heavyweight Champion.
Aye.
And folks, in the upcoming weeks, we're going to have actually on a lot of the guys from that match to talk about and kind of give their reasons why they think they're going to win it.
Okay.
But if nobody else has anything else to do, I will sign us off for the night.
I'm good, man.
I'm good.
All right. Again, want to thank Richie the Man for joining us tonight. Again, guys, if you missed any of tonight's show, definitely go back and watch us on YouTube later tonight or tomorrow or at your earliest convenience. Or go to your local podcast store within the next couple of days. This episode will be up on our podcast site as well. And also, folks, like we said at the top of the show, if you're going to go listen to us on the podcast, we definitely appreciate that. But also, definitely leave us a review.
Yeah.
Leave us a review. It helps with the algorithm, and it gets our name out there more. And guys, that's all we're asking for. It's just helping us get the name back out there.
Mm-hmm.
But for everybody, for Costa and for Ryan, I'm John. This has been a Round the Ropes regular episode, if that's a YouTube exclusive. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Go follow us because, guys, May is going to be a busy month for us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But until then, stay classy.